Oops. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Thanks for joining.
Hi, good evening. I probably should have checked to see who else is live. I know that Patty put out something that she's going to go live at at 11.
Yeah, it's late in 2 hours. Yeah, I don't know if anyone's here.
Yeah, I don't see anyone here. Well, hopefully.
Oh, there's Tennis Girl. Hey, Tennis Girl.
Hi, Tennis Girl. Thank you for joining us. we were wondering if anyone was going to be here. It looks like you're it. So I was telling Allison that for some reason my the PDF file that I was searching, I don't remember from the other day, is not showing me the I don't remembers anymore. So I actually think that we stopped. Yeah, I'm a little frazzled. Oh. Okay, it's showing that I have 72 now. That I have 72 I don't remembers. Oh. Yeah, and Allison, I missed you on Roberta. I'm sorry.
Oh, no worries.
I was doing a lot of like dinner and stuff, kind of running around.
Yeah.
So, okay. Okay, well.
Oh, Tennis Girl, it was the number of, oh, thank you, Tennis Girl, for sending another email. Oh, hi, Kristen. Yeah, Wendi said it 72 times. That's not even counting like I don't recall, which I guess were a few more of those too in her testimony. True Crime Wifey has a transcript. Oh yeah, previously put the transcript up on the screen.
Yes, I will. I'm just trying to find the place. Like I know that we went through like when she referred to him as an STD, and then the Dark Lord, Jew and Boot. I'm like trying to actually find the spot real quick. Oh, here's where we stopped. I think we stopped right after Jew and Boots because I don't remember. We didn't go over the part where Georgia asked her, "Did you ever say that you hated Dan Markel?" We did not get to that, but okay, I am going to share my screen. Hi, Kristen H. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate you. And then I'll make it bigger once I get it up. And I think I had it at 175 last time so folks could read it. But I do also have, hang on, I was, I actually posted several videos today just because like I had the video in my phone and I kind of know how to do that. So I posted a few videos, but I made a banner. Look, Allison, look what I did. Can you see that?
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's my banner too. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, well, I copied your banner.
Yeah.
I learned how to make a banner today.
Oh, well, yeah, your email was awesome, Tennis Girl. Thank you.
And is it okay if I leave it up the entire time? I mean, I don't really know how to change the font or anything, but I'm going to leave up the banner. Is that okay?
Sure. If you click on comments, the banner will be replaced by comments. But you can also, if you do show comments, although it comes up pretty small. Anyway, yeah, whichever.
Oh, you know what's funny is I actually think that I think because I have like the free version, I think it doesn't roll comments. Because when I click,
Okay.
yeah,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah, because when I clicked on it, it's given me an option to like upgrade.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no worries. It's pretty hard to read the comments anyway, but yeah, the free version of StreamYard works well enough. I did upgrade it, but yeah, that's
Yeah, I probably won't upgrade until I become more familiar with it.
yeah.
If I don't.
It's like a monthly charge, yeah.
Oh, thank you, Kristen. Kristen said she appreciated my Tuto and Tato drive. Like I uploaded that. It got lost in one of my live streams. So it was the Allison, I don't know if you were there when I was doing a live stream, but it took me like 38 minutes to figure out how to get the videos that I had recorded that day because they hadn't uploaded into my iCloud. So like, I was doing like a live to show everybody, but it's literally 38 minutes in when I finally figure out how to show the video. So wait, let's see. I want to see this one. Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I don't know who Dan Brown is. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm going to go back to the banner real quick. Okay, let's continue with Wendy's I Don't Remembers. And I think we ended last time on Jew and Boots, unless it didn't capture this one. But it's right after the gibbers referencing Jew and Boots. So Georgia asks, did you ever say that you hated Dan Markel? Wendi, I don't remember saying it, but I certainly could have. And then here comes Georgia with the receipts, tab 31. Oh, that's probably another good idea is to search how many times Georgia says tab. So, oh, hang on. So she says, tab 31, please refresh your memory. And Wendi says, I said that I hate him in this moment. Georgia, okay. And did you say in that email, that same email quote, I hate that I hate my children's dad? Wendi, I did. Wait, hang on. Oh, just skip the page. Okay. And she said, I did. Okay. Oh, this just, hold on. I'm sorry. It just skipped around. That's odd. Okay. Emotional terrorist. I'm sorry. It looks like I just lost my place. Just like skipped, but okay. So then so at this point, Georgia is asking about the divorce. Like, did you strategize to leave him in a way that would cause or inflict maximum damage upon him? No. Is that something your mom ever said? I don't remember. Did you discuss with your mom how and when you would leave your marriage? I did. And she's asking about that part where they basically called him right before he was going into, you know, a speech in front of people. Kind of like definitely like Pearl Harbor. So was Mr. Markell seeking to depose your mother as part of the divorce proceedings? I don't remember that. What about your brother Charlie? Did he care about whether you moved to South Florida or not? Wendi, I think so. I mean, I think he would have liked for me to be closer to him and have the kids closer to him. Would it have been okay with him if you made a decision to stay in Tallahassee? So this is when George is really trying to kind of lay it on thick that Donna is really the orchestrator. Because remember, this is Donna's trial, and the jury is only seeing the evidence, right? There's so much evidence, so the prosecutors have to pick and choose what they're bringing forward, like in a succinct manner, so that the jury understands. Are you still there, Allison?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Did you ever
I'm
write
trying-
that you would have?
Oh, I'm trying not to sidetrack you like I did last time we were going through the transcript. Because the transcript itself is interesting.
Yes, and thank you, Mr. C, and thank you, John Smith, for joining us.
Oh, thank you, Mr. C, John.
Oh, okay. Well, and thanks for that. Dan Brown wrote the Da Vinci Code. I just said earlier I didn't know who Dan Brown was. Okay, that sounds silly. No, Kristen, because if you do that, like you would, I mean, that would be pretty brutal on your body. And for those of you joining us, I have DA Steve Wagstaff's email on the banner. And just a quick email for justice for Nancy Galvani would be very much appreciated. And we're hoping and praying that he's going to make the right decision in the next couple of weeks. So This is probably the time. And I know we didn't get a chance. I don't know if you heard back from what we talked about earlier today. If you heard back from either Murder by Maestro or Leslie B.
Oh yeah, Leslie. Yeah, she replied. Yeah, I did talk to Leslie.
Okay.
I think if he's making a decision in the next couple of weeks, it's almost too late to.
It's
mark, like Leslie said,
when Rosemary said that.
Sorry.
When Rosemary said that in your live stream with Jeff, when she said that he said 2 weeks, I was like, oh, it's probably too late for that like mail out campaign.
I feel at this point there's no in between. And when he gives, however they notify me of their decision, like that they're not going to arrest or they have made an arrest.
Oh, wow.
I'll either be devastated if, Wagstaff tells me that they're not going to pursue it, or I'll be so grateful for accountability. There's no in between. So I'm nervous for that decision. I don't know if they'll notify me by phone or email.
Well, if they make that decision, yeah, I mean, they almost can't tell you that they've made the decision to do so unless they have him, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, like they won't, protocol just in general, they won't notify me until he's arrested, if they're going to arrest him, but they I guess they're also going to notify me if Mr. Wagstaff makes the decision not to prosecute. I don't know how he, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like, of course, I mean, I didn't think about how how it would go down one way or the other. And I think, like learning that Rosemary talked to him today, to Steve Wagstaff,
Yeah.
and then what she had to
That's
say,
amazing.
that's like, yeah, it's crunch time. And that the simple emails that people have been sending, or even the long emails, like apparently they have been helping a great deal.
Yes. I'm so thankful.
Okay, I'll go back to this. And Allison and I were kind of talking beforehand, just for a couple minutes, and she's been doing marathon live streams for the past few hours. It's been today's been kind of draining.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm already I'm already drained. It just worked out. Knowing this is such an important time the next 2 weeks, I am trying to bring awareness as much as possible. So then Roberta invited me to and Jeff and I scheduled that live. Did you see I had correspondence with Georgia today, Georgia Kappelman.
Oh, you did? No, I didn't hear about that.
Oh yeah, because in the press conference when she says that they ask about the boys, and she says that she hasn't done any favors for the boys today, that she's aware of. Maybe we could play it because I wrote. Do you happen to have that? Or I don't have it up, but that made me feel.
It was Roberta's. It was on Roberta's, or when you.
Oh! I read the email that I wrote to Kappelman, and she. But in the press conference, Kappelman says that she hasn't done the boys any favors today. Like, she's. But I felt. I felt compelled to get the message to her. No, you have done, because otherwise, like, the boys could be in my situation advocating for justice 40 years later, for full justice or grandma. So I explained to her, I forwarded her Sarah's email. She said she said it was so powerful, and she thanked me, and I explained to her, like, as someone in this situation, I can read what I wrote to her.
What did you read it on a live?
Yeah, I did. Well, I read it. I ended up reading it. I mean, it wasn't really planned, but I did read them. Yeah, wait, let's see. You should just go ahead with your, because if I start talking, I get on to some other topic. So let's go through the transcript.
I want it, but I want to hear what Georgia said, because this is relevant. Is it in the video that you did where it says pride and pain?
Oh no, that's just Sarah's award that
okay.
I wanted to share that with
you. Said it's recorded.
Well, it's in Roberta's live. I could maybe I'll make a recording of.
Hang on, let me. Do you remember when it was? I mean, well, you and Roberta were.
I don't know. It may have been like half an hour. I don't know. I don't.
Was it when you guys were talking about Wendi?
It's probably
Roberta has a lot of Stock the Bar.
Kind of going. Probably it was. I'm really not sure on the timestamp. It would take us. Yeah, I think if we want to show it, we can maybe organize it for next time, because I don't remember exactly where it was.
Okay.
I can pull up the email I sent Georgia, though.
Oh yeah. Well, will you read that? Can you read that, and then
Yeah,
we'll
yeah,
come back to it? Then we'll go back to Wendy's horrible testimony.
yeah. Okay, let me just pull up the email. Okay. Oh wait, sorry. Oops. Okay, so I said, dear Miss Kappelman or Ms. Kappelman, I want to congratulate you on the recent conviction of Donna Adelson. Your steadfast commitment to justice has been remarkable to watch, and I know how much your work means not only to the legal system, but to everyone who has been following this case closely. You said afterwards that you hadn't done Benjamin Lincoln any favors. I believe you have. By ensuring accountability for their father's murder, you've given them something invaluable. The truth affirmed in a court of law, and the knowledge that people were willing to fight for their father's memory when he could no longer fight for himself. That matters deeply, even if it may take time for them to fully realize it. I write to you also from a place of personal experience. When I was 5 years old, my mother was murdered, and overwhelming evidence shows that it was my father who killed her. Yet more than 4 decades later, he has never been brought to justice. I was raised by him, and that experience has been a lifelong source of anguish, living under the control of the person who took my mother's life and enduring the silence and denial that surrounded it. I'm still waiting for the day when my mother's case will be brought before a jury. Seeing the outcome you achieved in the Markel case gives me hope that justice, even when long delayed, is possible. You have given Benjamin Lincoln a gift, whether they see it now or not. And in doing so, you've given strength to people like me who continue to fight for justice for our loved ones with gratitude and admiration.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad that you wrote that. Did she reply or
Yeah, she did. Yeah.
okay,
No, she
great.
thanked me and said it was so powerful. And there aren't that many people this is why I felt like I should email her, like that are in kind of the specific situation of having a parent murdered by the other parent, being raised by it, and her feeling. It made me, I wanted to convey to Georgia that she is doing, well, she used the word favor, but she was just colloquially, she is helping the boys by holding the people accountable who murdered their father. Like, I wanted her to know that, well, I didn't explain that that the boys won't be, well, we have to see with regard to Wendi, but the boys will, I believe, like I did eventually, the denial will lift, and that I hope that they're not still having to pursue full justice at 40 years later. And Georgia Kappelman has given them justice. I think they're the most tragic victims in this case. So anyway, yeah, I just wanted her to, because I felt like bad that she felt that. I'm like, no, it's exact opposite. So that's why I wrote to her.
Good. I'm glad that you did. Because I know when we played it on our live stream, like Court TV cut it off, but you had watched that part earlier, right? Like, was it on Patty's live, or I can't remember where, like, that was such a crazy night, like the verdict night.
Yeah, I think I saw that part on Patty's or Court TV, at least. Or I think maybe earlier had there was some place that had it before. It cut off. When I think it was a question from Court TV asking about the boys, and she said she has so much sympathy for them, but well, I guess I'm just repeating it. Yeah, she said she.
Yeah, it's okay. No, I understand. I'm glad that you sent that to her, because I'll bet you she didn't get any other email like that.
Well, that's why I wrote, like, I'm sure she's getting a lot of appreciation. She totally deserves that, but she may not. It's a complicated situation, I know, for the boys, and I understand that she may feel that way, but I want her to know that maybe in the long term, most of all, she's doing this for the boys, helping the boys, and I don't want her to feel any hesitation that this is not what is right, to pursue prosecution of their mother. And I thought there's so few people that can speak to that situation that uh yeah, that I
Well, and remember, I mean, I said, we were talking one day, and I said, justice delayed is still justice.
yeah.
Oh, I wanted to answer John Smith real quick. I guess he asked about Susan Hicks. I have not talked to her, but the last text exchange I had from Susan was about, I mean, right now, I can't believe it's been almost 2 weeks ago, but it was the day that Pat Sanford was on the stand, and Susan was at the beach with her family, and they had all gone down for a swim, and she was actually watching Pat Sanford, because she used to work with Pat Sanford. Like, Susan Hicks was,
Yeah.
she's retired from the FBI.
Yeah, she is.
And she went into surgery, I think 2 days later. And I have seen her here and there in a chat, but I haven't bothered her, because I know that, like, her surgery was pretty difficult. So, I never know, like, if it's a good time, you know what I mean? Like, and I know she's going through a really tough time right now with the
I
diagnosis.
know. She's a wonderful person.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, because she was in remission for many years.
Yeah.
She had breast cancer before. And even, like, with checkups, it didn't catch it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put the banner back up, and then I'm going to continue. People said that Patty's coming on at 11, which I did mention that earlier. Okay, so here we are. When Georgia asks Wendi, did you ever write that you would have never left him without your mom's suggestions? I don't remember saying that. Please refer to tab 41 if it refreshes, and see if it refreshes your memory. Oh, I do say here, I wouldn't have done it on my own. Do you specifically reference your mom? I say my parents and brother's suggestions support. And Georgia does the okay. And then Wendi says, maybe because I wasn't happy, but part of me thought that maybe I could just stay until the kids grew up. Just one moment. I've lost my place. Sorry, this is Georgia. I'm back. Okay, here's the next I don't remember. She said, all right, I think you already testified that you did not offer your mom your divorce petition to edit. Is that your testimony? And then Wendi, sorry, what's the question? That's exactly what she said to Christopher DeCoste in Katie McBanawa's trial, when he was kind of sparring with her a little bit. She's like, sorry, what's the question? So whenever she's challenged, she actually says that. And then Georgia says, did you send your divorce petition to your mother to assist you in editing it? I don't remember doing it. And did your mom also pretend to be you at Mercer University? Oh, we did cover it. Okay. To help you complete your divorce affidavit? I have no memory of that. And then Georgia's like, go to the little pop-up out of this email from your mom. Obviously, I pretended to be you contacting these financial institutions. Is that something that she would normally do on your behalf? Pose as you? Oh, and here's Wendi. I had very little understanding or involvement of my financial situation. Like, do we really believe that? Like, do you believe that she doesn't really understand her financial situation?
No, I mean, she's well aware, and I think she's greedy for money.
Oh, yeah. Okay, you know what? We did cover this. He didn't need a psychological evaluation, did he? Honestly, I don't remember. I think that this search might have picked up a few additional I don't remembers than what we covered last time. So I'll kind of go a little bit. So this is when, okay. So, oh, so George is asking about Donna's interference pretty much in the divorce. Said, my mom offered to help, but I don't think I needed help preparing for meetings with my divorce lawyer. Who was your divorce lawyer? Kristen Adamson. So here, George is setting up where the jury's going to hear from Kristen Adamson later, right? And your mom, in an email dated January 9th, 2013, indicates that she thinks the job opportunities that you had in South Florida was a major bargaining chip for your divorce. Did you agree with that? I did agree with it at that time. I'm sorry. Did I agree with it at that time? Georgia says yes. Wendy's reply, I don't remember. Georgia, she did a lot of work, sort of, making arguments to that point, didn't she? Wendy's answer, I believe so. And did you forward your correspondence with your lawyer to your mother? I did. Then Georgia's going to publish. Oh, this part I thought was hilarious, where she says, your mom mentions, let me see if I can find it. This is 64G, the state's exhibit, your South Florida legal team. She will try to remember to discuss things with your South Florida legal team. Who was that? And then Wendi says, I think she was jokingly referring to herself. Oh, she's the South Florida legal team, meaning Donna? And Wendy's reply, I don't know who else it would have been. I think that's why there is a smiley face. I think it was a joke. And Georgia, okay. More questions for your upcoming hearing with your attorney. Then she goes on to show Wendi all of the information that she has. Oh, here's the part about okay. Ooh. Did you feel railroaded by her, meaning Donna, in this email where she's kind of bullying you to keep fighting? And then Fulford, objection, Your Honor, the prosecutor is testifying. And judge says, sustained. Please rephrase your question. And then Georgia says, did you feel railroaded by your mother? And Wendi says, no, but she wants you to continue to take action. Wendi, it was denied. I wasn't taking any more action. And Georgia said, not any more legal action? I was not taking any more action of any kind. Didn't your mom have some other ideas for some other actions that could happen? And Wendi said she did. I don't know if you remember her saying she did, but she like nodded. She's like, she did. And then Georgia says she did want to take it to an appeal. Do you remember that? And Wendy's reply, I don't remember, but, and Georgia cuts her off and says, that's on tab 43 of your binder. And Wendi, yes, I see. And this is, the plan of action is the email where Donna's talking about all the things that they need to be doing, the dressing up in Nazi uniforms and, having the kids baptized in a Catholic church and changing their religion to Christianity versus the Jewish religion. Okay. Let's see next. I don't remember. She was going, oh, here we go. It says, she suggested that I pretend that the boys had become Christian. And then Georgia says, is that something that you would have ever considered doing? Wendy's answer, no. Georgia, she was going to pay for them to get instruction on the Christian faith, right? Wendi, that was what she said. That was what she said. That's not even correct English. Okay. Georgia says, and she said she looked into it and she could get them baptized in a couple of weeks. Do you remember that? Here goes Wendi. I don't remember, but I'm sure it's here. Do you remember her imploring you to put on a good act? I do. Did your mom, do you have any acting training? No. Do you know why your mom would Google how to teach an actress emotion? Wendi, I don't know. Georgia says, did she ever share with you or forward you any tips on how to bring emotion or fake emotion? And Wendy's reply, not that I remember of any kind. So that's a I don't remember in a different phrasing. And then here comes the financial offer. The $1 million split 3 different ways. Third of $1 million. And Wendi says no. Then Georgia says, moving on to 64X. This is an email in which your mom expresses opinions on several items, including the marital home, the parenting schedule, alimony, child support, health insurance. Did you want her opinion on all these things? And Wendy's reply, I don't remember, but I think we always want our parents' opinions on things, even if we don't take it. And then here comes Fulford. I'm sorry, Your Honor, I can't hear. Like Jackie really played like the old fogey.
Yeah, but
like
that's
attorney.
just highlighting the answer. Like, that's not helpful. I guess she genuinely didn't hear, but I don't think that's helpful for her to get the witness to repeat it. Anyway, just tactically, strategically.
And so Judge Everett says, please restate your answer. And then Wendi says, counselor asks. So Wendi explains everything that Jackie just missed. Counselor asked me if I wanted my mom's opinion on those things. And it's hard for me to remember at the time if I wanted other opinions. But I said, I guess, people always want their parents' opinions on things. That's funny how she gave Jackie a little summary. Okay, Georgia says, and your mother's opinion was that she wanted you to aggravate your ex-husband, right? And Wendi agrees, says yes. Georgia, to screw him financially. Wendi, yes. To get a win. Yes. She thought your divorce was something to be won, right? It seems that way. When was the divorce final? It would have been final the summer of 2013. July 31st of 13. Sound right? Yes, ma'am. Oh, that was one thing. Wendi says yes, ma'am. And that her entire testimony and her attitude was completely different.
Yeah, it
during
shifted
the
from
trial.
cocky to more respectful.
Yeah, and I need to find. I need to relook at Wendy's video with her testimony, because there's a time, I can't remember if it's going to be a sidebar or if there was an objection or if it was a break, but Georgia is standing like in front of Wendi, and she's on the stand, and she either has like a binder or a paper, and Wendi is looking down, and when Wendi looks up at Georgia trying to get eye contact with her, and she's doing the eyelash flutter.
Oh,
And
yeah. I know it.
when
Yeah,
I was watching
yeah,
it,
the flutter.
yeah, yeah, when I was watching it, I was like, whoa.
Is that
Like,
a
it was,
natural? I don't really know about the
no,
eyelash.
okay, so
People do that, like,
Meghan,
yeah.
yeah, Meghan Markle does this. There's a lot of videos on it.
Is it a
It's
natural thing, or do they try to manifest?
no, it's not a natural thing. It's actually, well, it's okay. In my opinion, and from the information that I've gathered about malignant narcissists, they not only do they do love bombing techniques like with significant others or love interests, they also have techniques that they do with the same sex. Like it's a manipulative tactic. It's something where because they don't have empathy and don't really know how to show like emotion, that it's something that they do where they look at the forehead of the other person with when they have like their head down, but they'll look up like with their eyes at like the forehead, and they do like that fluttering thing. I don't know. I know I'm really like,
No, I noticed the fluttering. I just oh, sorry, I don't have my head.
it was like a manipulation tactic. Like it was almost, okay, this is just my opinion, but when I saw it, because I watched the trial on a station, or on the Tallahassee Democrat live stream, where there were no like there was no commentation, like no one was commenting. I know I would have had a lot of fun in like Roberta's chat or something, but I wanted to watch it and just really take it in on my own. And I just remember when she did that, I thought, oh, like it's manipulation. It's almost like she's saying to Georgia, like, are you noticing what a good girl I'm being this time? Does that make sense? I don't know. I know that sounds so weird, but she's trying to get the eye contact, but it almost seems like Georgia either looks right through her or is not paying attention to her, because Georgia's head's up. So she should kind of be looking at Wendi when she does this, but we can only see the back of Georgia's head. So I don't know if Georgia's eyes were down looking at the paper or the binder that she had in front of her. But yeah, Wendi definitely is trying to get Georgia's attention and trying to make eye contact with Georgia. I just don't know if it happened.
Well, Georgia's not fooled for 1 second by Wendi.
No, she's not. No, she's not. Yeah, Georgia is just adorable. She's so funny. Did I tell you about the time that I saw her driving? I saw her driving on this little road. Actually, it wasn't too far from Red Eye Coffee. It was like right at one of the little side roads right off Thomasville Road. And she was, I'm not going to say what kind of car, of course, whatever, but she was alone. And we passed each other. Like I'm going one way and she's going another way. And, she's not paying attention to, she's just driving. But I see her and I'm like, holy moly. And then I thought like, oh my gosh, like Georgia's driving alone. But then like a really large black SUV came right behind her. So I think like she has I think that there might be like some sort of protection.
Oh my
just
God, she
because
needs
of
protection? Like, and is it because it's around the time of the trial? Like, are you talking about recently or just in general? I wouldn't think in general.
it would have been somewhere, it would have been probably late spring when I saw her. It was definitely before school was out. Yeah, so it was also around the time where the prosecution was getting the information from the shenanigans that she was involved in at the jail, right? Like, remember how we heard that it was possible that Donna was trying to put a hit out on Rob, trying to get Katie? Do you remember when we got that information, like, as the public? Do you remember that, Allison?
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, I'm sorry.
My son just asked a question. I'd muted it. I'm sorry, I missed that.
Oh, no, it's okay. Well, I'm gonna ask that in a second. What I wanted to say was it was around the time that the public was getting information that Donna was involved in shenanigans at the courthouse. I'm sorry, at the jail, in the jail, meaning the snitches, and then there was information that she may have been trying to do something that could harm Robert. Do you remember when we were getting that information?
Yeah. Sorry, there's a lot of background noise here. I don't have my headset in for the cancel out so I keep muting it. I'm surprised that she would need protection.
Well, we don't know what they know.
Yeah, that's true.
Things that were going on, because we do know, and I'm going to say hi to the chat in 1 second, but we do know that, okay, so Donna was letting other inmates borrow her tablet to make phone calls, like, right to their family and things. And I always thought, well, if she's doing that, they might have just been trading tablets. So, like,
yeah, it's a favor because she's
whatever
expensive and yeah.
But I think that there might be information on someone else's tablet.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
That Donna was in, like, communication with someone, right? Like, whether it was Harvey or whatever. But I want to say hi to Rebecca Rose. Thank you, Rebecca. Because today I know that she had Patty's back.
Yeah.
Saved Patty last Thursday. Well, today she saved me a little bit. Like, she posted.
Rebecca's awesome.
I know. I kept calling the Roadhouse. I even do it, like, in my video, but I titled my video like Roadhouse. I'm like, oh, I must have Patrick Swayze on the brain, because he did that movie, like Roadhouse, whatever. I think that Jake Gyllenhaal, like, redid it, but I'm not really a big fan of, like, reboots, especially if it involves, like, Keanu Reeves or Patrick Swayze. Like, I've never seen the second Point Break. But yeah, so she sent me a comment immediately right after I posted it, and she's like, "Isn't it Roadway Inn?" And I'm like, "Oh, yes." So thank you, Rebecca. Thank you so much. Look at Rebecca.
Rebecca was there every day next to Patty, and Rebecca's a witness to some bullying.
Yeah.
Several witnesses. I just can't believe the behavior, especially as the person who's doing that bullying. She successfully portrays herself as sorry about the Yeah, Honeybell's crying for her dad, who's he's in the basement, and she's not allowed down there. And I have to mute it, yeah, because I know this is very distracting for everyone.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, John. John said like three-way calling. Yeah. So I think that there was more to what was happening in the jail with Donna, because she clearly was desperate. Like we saw that she, was making all of these promises to the inmate Patricia Bird, and then also Drina, to get them to do crazy stuff. Or, to write that. Or we ended up finding out that it was Donna's penmanship writing that letter that she wanted Drina to recite. I know, me neither. I know. And I was talking to Allison, and I mean we've talked about this before, and I've even talked about this with Patty. Like I mean, I don't believe violence has any place in society. I was pretty upset to see that, someone was assassinated today, just because of free speech. I mean, you don't have to agree with anything that he says or everything that he says, but just opening up the door for people to have discussions about, really important things is, I think it's a very good thing. And yeah, I was, another campus shooting, but this was, obviously very targeted.
Yeah, I was shocked.
Yeah. Yeah. And I noticed, last night, or I can't remember whenever Patty went live yesterday, I was listening to most of it. I was listening to some of it, but I actually listened to the whole thing after she had ended, because I missed most of it. And someone had asked her, and I don't even know who it is, but someone had asked her, like, did she cut? I don't know how, like, did she cuff Harvey on the head or something, like something to that effect? I guess it was a chatter asked her that, and don't remember exactly. Let me think for 1 second. So it was something to the effect that, like, did you cuff Harvey on the head or something? And Patty's answer, to a chatter was,
Oh, someone in the chat. Oh, I see. Yeah.
yeah. What Patty replied, she's like, I'm not into committing a felony in the courthouse. It's like, we don't, yeah, like, we don't have to agree with everybody. Like, but violence is not the answer. Like, I'm very anti-violence.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, Tennis Girl says, I guess Donna sharing a tablet for calls will complicate release of her calls. We probably won't get anything good. Yeah, if we could figure out. So there was some additional names of other women. I'm trying to remember where I heard that at. There's a like a list. There's at least 3 other names. So maybe doing, I don't even know how people get those jail calls, but I guess doing a FOIA request for those people's calls, you might be able to find a Donna call in it. Because it seems like she had a little crew, right? She had gathered up a little crew in the Leon County Jail, which I find that hilarious. But yeah, there were a few other women involved in conversations with her. It wasn't the only 2 that testified were Patricia Bird and Drina Bernhardt. Was it? I'm probably saying it wrong. Bernhardt, I can't remember. Sorry, it's been a long day. Who got a strike on Reddit? Yeah, oh. Well, that would be a lot of FOIA requests, tennis girl. You'd have to know every single person in the jail. And we don't even really know the exact time frame because sometimes people get, locked up and then released. But yeah, it would have to be.
Is every body cam, like, can you FOIA any body cam?
Well, I know that there's YouTube channels that just strictly do body cams.
I know.
And sometimes they have them pretty quickly.
The search warrant executed on my father recently. Can I get the body cam for that?
Well, it is California, so I don't know if they would release it if they still are considering it an open case. I just don't know what their laws are.
Okay, yeah.
But oh, you got a strike on Reddit, Rebecca, for repeating what FF said. Wow.
Oh my gosh, what's going on with that? I haven't been on Reddit in ages. It's just so disheartening.
I don't know. But I don't know if anybody realizes that what was said to Patty was the same stuff that was being texted to Patty a year ago when everything kind of like, when Patty came out fighting against what was going on with her.
Yeah.
Like she was receiving texts that someone was going to break into her house and do that. So I kind of think that might tell us something. Just saying. And at some point, Allison, I mean, not anytime soon, but at some point, I think that you might have shown it, but I did some recording of things like when people who are in, supposedly, justice for Dan Markel, but they're doing that really violent video, and just because you delete everything or take down your channel,
the decapitation. Well, I see that along the same lines as that's inexcusable. A violent fantasy video about decapitating specific women. It's just very, very disturbing to me. And in the name of justice for Dan, which makes it all the more appalling. Like, how dare they use? Do you think Dan would have actually liked to have his the movement Justice for Dan scrolled across decapitators decapitating women?
Well, and then there were like several other channels included in it, and I'm pretty sure that a few of them did not want to be involved.
Oh yeah, people were tagged. I know that some of those channels. Yeah.
Yeah, like Dawn DeQuesto was in there. I mean, she follows, she follows the Denmark.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dawn's channel is funny. Like, she's a huge football fan. I think it's the Green Bay Packers, but she does like she has like someone who comes on with her a lot, and they talk about football. Like, they know who's being recruited. Like, they're hilarious. But she also does makeup and skin cream, and then she does true crime. Like, she followed, I think one of the most recent ones is it the Milete. Oh, I can't remember. I think it's Maya Milete. It was in California. And she.
I remember that case. Yeah.
Yeah, like, so she does. Yeah.
I'm trying to find some dog treats here that'll satiate Honeybill until her dad. We have like a developed kind of basement. Jeff is watching a film with Emily in the basement, and she's not allowed in the basement. None of the dogs are, but she's knows he's down there, and so she's at the top of the stairs crying for him. I'm seeing maybe I can distract her with a treat. Let's see if this works. Oh yeah, she took it. Okay, sorry.
I know that's so funny. I've only ever used treats when training dogs, and then I've rarely given them treats after they're trained. Like I feed them or whatever. I mean, sometimes they get like a human food treat. And at one point I was doing like the milk bone things, but I think that they have a lot of salt in them. But you probably buy like all natural stuff. Like I just get stuff that's in the grocery store. Okay, so I'm going to continue.
Oh, can I
Hey.
before I probably yes, it's kind of probably should go soon, but I talked to John Lewin today as well, and
good.
Got some political gossip, which I probably shouldn't go into, at least not until. Well, maybe I'll discuss it if Flagstaff doesn't make the right decision. But anyway, yeah, John Lewin, he's so nice. He was so nice. He's in Australia right now on vacation, but he's gonna reach out and offer his assistance to Mr. Maya. And he does know Wagstaff himself.
But good.
But that part I can't really go into.
Yeah, that's fine. Don't say anything else.
It wasn't like 100% positive. So that also
okay. I said don't say anything else. Hey, okay, so several people are here that I haven't said hi to yet. Jibs and Jabs just came in. Hi, Jibs, how are you? And I saw that Deb H is here and Susie Q. I don't think that I mentioned you guys, and I'm sorry that I'm like way behind in the chat.
I should probably my family's
Allison's
getting
been
down.
doing marathon live stream.
I mean, I'm just more distraction here anyway from the purpose of what you're doing. So I can just drop off and you can continue.
Okay, Allison, I will continue.
Okay, great.
Because I'm probably going to do it for like another, at least another
and then maybe
hour.
We can have a planned discussion about another topic later in a few days or something. I actually have Joe Pertuto scheduled on Sunday. Yeah, on Sunday she's going to do another, and but it would be great to.
Okay, well, tell Jeff, thank you so much for doing that live stream earlier. I really enjoyed listening.
Oh, well,
Even though we've heard you read the letter, it's like it comes across like when he reads it, like you can really hear him like writing it. So I enjoyed that a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell Jeff that we're going to let you go because you have had an exhausting day. She's been doing marathon live streams for hours. And so, okay, bye, Allison.
Bye.
Do I
Thanks,
need to
everyone.
do anything? Do I need to do anything on my end? Oh, okay. Well, she left. Okay. It's okay. She knows I'm not well versed in StreamYard. So I'm going to go on for a few more minutes with I don't remember, and then I'll come back to the chat. Okay, so Georgia says, who is the first? Okay, so this is the 21st I don't remember that we've gotten to tonight. And I think we got through at least about 20, I think, or 25, the first stream. So this is kind of part 2. So Georgia says, who was the first one to file something after the divorce was final? Wendi, I don't remember who was the first to file. And Georgia says, because you both filed some things afterwards, right? And here goes Wendi. Well, Danny was supposed to pay me for the deal with our settlement was I was supposed to take my name off the title of the house, and he was supposed to pay me half of the value of the house. So I went the first week and took my name off the title and then just waited. When I reached out, when it was time for him to pay up what he owed, he said, I'm not going to pay it. And I asked why. And he said, I have my reasons. So my attorney had to file to enforce the settlement agreement because otherwise he was going to be held in contempt of court. And then Georgia says, the court had given him a deadline to make the payment and he didn't make it. And Wendi, he didn't make it. So remember, Patty covered this and she knows that Wendi never took her name, and you can see it as public record with the Leon County property appraiser, that Wendi never took her name off. It would have been a quit claim, like a fast changing of paperwork, putting it all in Dan's name. Wendi never did that. So that's another lie. Okay. So Georgia continues. So the court had given him a deadline to make the payment and he didn't make it. So you filed a motion to enforce. And Wendi says, the settlement agreement. And Georgia says, and he filed a counter motion saying, well, I'm not going to pay it because she's in violation of all these different things. Do you remember that? And Wendi answers, I do. And then he accused my attorney of committing a fraud. And Georgia's like, right. And one of his big complaints was failure to facilitate the communication agreement where I guess you all had some type of agreement to provide Skype calls with the kids to each other when you didn't have the children. Do you remember him complaining about that? And Wendi says, I do. I remember if I was 1 minute late, he would be contacting the parenting coordinator and complain that I was in violation. See, remember, Dan's deceased. We're only hearing her side of the story. Georgia says, well, that was pretty regular complaint of his in this era of these filings, wasn't it? Wendi answers yes. And when he sent an email, for example, 64N, which is a state exhibit, alleging these sorts of violations and including, quote, accusing you and your mother of making zero efforts to facilitate communication between he and the kids. Did you forward this email to your mother? Oh, here's the next. I don't remember if I did or not. And Georgia says, and during this time period, did Dan Markell send you quite a few emails pleading with you to play nice? For example, March 7, 2013. Wendi, I really regret that things have gotten to the place where they are. Do you think that we could try to resolve more issues directly with each other to prevent so much of the unnecessary tension and cost? Things like that? And Wendi answers yes. So then Georgia comes back, okay, but then you didn't seem to be able to actually play nice with each other, even though it seems like maybe that's what you both wanted, at least at certain points. And Wendi, I was always trying to play nice. And Georgia says, well, you were threatening to hold him in contempt of court. Oh, and here comes Wendi. I wasn't threatening to hold him in contempt of court. That was what my lawyer filed. And Georgia, well, your lawyer represents you, doesn't she, Miss Adelson? Oh, I love that exchange. And then Wendy's answer was, she does, but I wasn't threatening him. And then, did you see Skype communication between Dan Markell and the boys on March 12, 2013? I don't remember that, no. tab 54, please. Then Wendi says, it looks like my attorney advised me to do that. Oh, this is what really fired up a lot of people. Now I'm going to go to the chat real quick. Yeah. Oh, look how much Wendi suddenly doesn't remember. Like from way back when, yeah. Yeah, Wendi, I definitely noticed that Wendi remembered a lot of specific things, like details. Her morning drive that she had to go get gas, or, the Bulit bourbon and the gas and super glue. Like, she remembers all of these detailed, irrelevant stuff, but she claims to not remember, like, the important things, like this contentious divorce that was affecting her life. I'm not going to put it up, but yes, maybe, Rebecca. I'll definitely let Patty know. I know. I don't remember. My mind's a blender. Or in a blender, sorry. And Jib says it shows that Wendi is unable to take responsibility for anything that she does. She's very much like Donna. Yeah. Well, hello, MoFoHo143. That is a funny name. Yeah, she couldn't cook or clean. Or she didn't cook or clean. I don't really know if she couldn't clean. I just think that she didn't clean. But thank you. Thank you for joining us. Alison Galvani from My Father's Alibi. She actually left just several minutes ago. And I'm going to continue on in the transcript. But one thing that I wanted to say, what we were just reading, is, to me, in regards to Adamson's testimony, Kristen Adamson, her former divorce attorney, and then also Linda Bailey, it's like that's why I got so mad. I'm like, these two B's, like Kristen was so angry that she hadn't gotten her $10,000. And then Linda seemed angrier that her BFF hadn't got paid $10,000. And then just looked at the entire, case and their testimony, just sitting there, especially Linda Bailey, 2 hours of disparaging Dan Markel. It was really sickening to me. Very sickening. Ugh. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that Kristen H said it in the part one that Allison and I did. I think it's been almost a week ago. It probably has been. But Kristen, or it was either Kristen H or Mia. It says, whenever Wendi says, I don't remember, it really means I remember, I'm just not going to tell you. Yes, we all do. Mofo Ho says, love me some jibs and jabs. Yes. You're right. Yep. In lieu of lying on the stand. Mm-hmm. I guess that's how she's getting away with it. But, I mean, she's not going to be arrested for perjury. I think that there's bigger things, bigger fish to fry in regards to Wendi Adelson, in my opinion. Oh, one thing that Allison and I forgot to do when we started, we like to say, we're not psychologists or psychiatrists. We're not professional YouTubers, right? We're not detectives or the police or lawyers. This is, our discussion and our opinions about the Dan Markel murder case and the trials. Mm-hmm. So just a reminder for anyone who's coming in late, Alison Galvani, her channel is My Father's Alibi, and over 43 years ago, her mother was murdered by her father. Her mother is Nancy Galvani. He was arrested, but he was never prosecuted. And this is the DA, Steve Wagstaff's email. And any email that could just say justice for Nancy, or, anything, be respectful, if you will, when you're writing an email, but really say, justice for Nancy. It's been way too long. And I mean, Alison deserves justice for her mother. But that is what this email is. It's DA, District Attorney Wagstaff's email. And it's swagstaff@smcgov.org. And that's San Mateo County, California. Mm-hmm. Yeah, John's funny. I don't know you, but okay. Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit more of I Don't Remember. Okay. So, did you saw Skype communication between Dan Markel and the boys on March 12th of 2013? I don't remember that, no. And here comes Georgia with the receipts. Tab 54, please. It looks like my attorney advised me to do that. Ugh, seriously? Yeah, Kristen Adamson basically told her to do that because Kristen Adamson was more concerned with getting paid. And I still kind of don't understand why Dan had to pay for Wendy's attorney, but I guess it was part of their marital settlement agreement. And Wendy says, it looks like my attorney advised me to do that. And then Georgia said, did you cease all Skype conversations between Dan Markel and the boys? And here she goes. Again, I don't remember. It's been a very long time. But if my attorney advised me to do this, then I probably did it. In Georgia. And the day you filed that motion to enforce the marital settlement agreement and hold Dan Markel in contempt, let me see if I can find that. What was the date of that filing? And, this is how Wendy is, right? She can't find things when Georgia knows where they are. But when Georgia doesn't know where they are, she likes to tell Georgia. So Wendy says, it looks like it was October 31st of 2013. So a lot of things happened on October 31st of 2013. This is when, a week after Wendy has signed a contract on the Whittington Drive home in Tallahassee, she backs out of that contract. This is the same date that Charlie Adelson and Katie McBanawa are on a date, and Charlie says, do you know someone that can harm someone? And then it's also the date of this filing. Oh, and then here, I'm sorry, I forgot that Georgia says, was that the same date that you backed out of the contract to buy a house here in Tallahassee? Here's another one. We're on 25 just for tonight. Or 25, I don't remember. And Wendy's answer, I don't remember if it was the same date, but at that point, I didn't have the money I needed to buy the house because Danny didn't pay what he was supposed to. And Georgia's like, okay, but you don't remember which day you backed out of buying the house? Wendy's reply, I don't. Could it have been the same day that this was filed? Halloween of 2013? Sorry, I'm adding the 20. And then Wendy's answer was, it may have been. And then Georgia says, okay. And was it Charlie, your brother, who talked you out of buying the house? Wendy says, no, I didn't have the money to buy the house. And then Georgia says, so you don't remember him discussing that with you? Wendy says, no. And Georgia says, and did your mom have a position one way or the other on whether you would buy the house? Number 26 tonight, I don't remember. Georgia, the image that I just had up there, was this the image sent to you on October 31st? How did this get on your cell phone dated October 31st? And Wendy's answer is, it looks like something my brother would have sent me at some point. And here we go. I don't remember if it was, what date it was, but I remember seeing that picture. Okay. Do you have any reason to dispute the metadata associated with it on your phone? And Wendy says, no, ma'am. The ma'ams and the different attitude during this trial versus the others. So here's where Georgia's going to get her a little bit. It says, and do you recognize your brother in this photo? Wendy, I do. Georgia says, who's the woman he's pictured with here? Wendy, Katie. Georgia, is that Catherine McManawa? Wendy says, yes. I'm surprised she didn't say, I don't remember the woman's name. So then Georgia says, so did your brother at this time send you this picture? Not at any time. Did your brother on October 31st send you this picture and basically tell you not to buy the house because you weren't going to be living in Tallahassee much longer? Wendy, I don't remember him ever telling me not to buy the house or that I wasn't going to be living in Tallahassee. I really wanted to buy that house. So then George is going to talk about the Skype stuff. Oh, and here's sorry, my dog is barking. So here's all of the fraud language. And then Georgia asks, and did your mom view that? I'm sorry, hold on for 1 second. Okay, I apologize. It's probably a cat, but he won't come. He won't come to me right now. Probably sees a cat. Oh, jeez, Louise. Okay, I apologize. Yes. Yeah, he is a good guard dog. He's a little kooky. Hi, Justice Jane. Thanks for joining. So, Allison and I were going through the I don't remembers from Wendy's transcript from her testimony in this trial. And Allison had to leave a little bit ago. Okay. And here's the did your mom view that filing? I don't remember. Isn't that the one that she responded to? We need a plan of attack. We need to aggravate him the way that he's trying to aggravate you. Oh, and here's Wendi. I remember we just looked at that. I just didn't remember what it was in response to. And Georgia says, and did you respond to his allegations? And Wendi starts to answer I, and then she cuts, and then Georgia cuts her off. In court, in a court filing. Wendi answers, well, you must have responded in the court filing to that, because if someone accuses you of fraud, at that point, my attorney had to recuse herself because she had to become a witness in the case and say that that didn't happen. Oh, real quick, I wanted to bring something up. Do you guys remember? I mean, at this point, it's been a couple of weeks ago, maybe 3, when Alison and I did a live stream. And I think I redid it because the audio was really bad when we talked about it. But before we did our live stream, we had told our normal chatters that that I thought that I had found like an additional person that she was accusing during her ISIM interview, even though it was subtle. Because remember, she accuses, or she gets Jane to accuse Jeffrey Lacasse. She, brings up Charlie's name within like the first half hour of her interview with Isom. She talks about her parents, right? She like even brings like Amy Adler's ex-husband into it. Well, she subtly brings Kristen Adamson's name up when she's telling Isom. Like she doesn't include herself, right? But she's telling Isom that Dan Markel was like threatening to file sanctions against her attorney. Well, he was also doing that to Wendi as well. And then she makes a comment like, but she would never lash out. She would do it, she would use the legal process. But Isom didn't pick up on it. Yeah, Amy Adler was his girlfriend. Yeah, thank you, Kristen. Oh, man, Jack Russells are like squirrels. They're like, yeah. Oh, it's so funny that you said golden doodle. I think that Allison has a golden doodle. Yeah, like the people at my vet are like, they say that because I guess in the system, in their system, like when they're doing breeds, like they have to put them down as a golden retriever mix. And the woman at the front, like I've known her for a long time. I've had the same vet since I moved here over 25 years ago. But the woman at the front's pretty much worked there the entire time. And she was telling me that people with golden doodles get like so angry. Like, no, it's a golden doodle. And she's like, nope, it's a golden retriever mix. Yeah, sorry, that's just a side note. Yeah, I got really lucky with my golden retriever. Okay, my AC just cut back on. I'm going to continue. Okay. So here's like, okay, they signed a lease to have some sort of weekend property. Was that in South Beach? Oh, this is when they're going into. My parents were spending some time there on the weekends, but they didn't move until 2015 when I was clerking for a judge at that time. So, she's got to let everybody on the jury know that she was clerking for a judge at that time. And Georgia says, okay, so they signed a lease to have sort of a weekend property. Was that in South Beach? Wendi, yes. Georgia. And that does March of 2014 sound right for that? And Wendi replies, I don't remember when they signed a lease there But it's possible. So while you ultimately left Tallahassee, which we'll get to, did you go live at the Continuum or Coral Springs or somewhere else? And then Wendi says, in Miami at the Continuum. Remember, Patty found that lease, right? And then Georgia says, and do you know why they chose to move into the Continuum? I mean, this is about 3-4 months before the murder. And then Wendi gives this, BS reply. Keep going. Did your mom add you as a resident to the Continuum on May 16th of 2014? Here's Wendi. I don't remember that, but the Continuum, the apartment complex, had very high security. So it may have been that if you wanted someone to come and not be considered a guest, that they had to be considered a resident. Georgia with the receipts. Tab 95, please. And the question is, would you have been considered a resident as of May 16th of 2014? And Wendi said, okay, so I don't know is the same as I don't remember. I don't know. So you want me to see whether on this document I was added as a resident? And Georgia says, yes, ma'am. And then Wendi says, it looks like I was added and my brother were added. That's wrong English. Okay, and then my other brother was in case of emergency. And it was in April of 2014. In Georgia, April of 2014, so about 3 months before the murder. Wendi answers, yes. And this was just so you could come and go whenever you were visiting? Wendi, that was my understanding. And Georgia says, do you recall a motion being filed by Dan Markel that we have referred to as the grandma motion? And Wendi says, no. For real? For real? Wendi says, no. Oh, the lies. Did Dan Markel in March 26th of 2014 file a motion seeking to preclude your mother from having unsupervised contact with your kids? Wendi, I don't remember him filing that motion, but it sounds like if it's a motion you have a name for, then it exists. Oh, jeez. And then Georgia continues, and in that motion, do you recall or does it refresh your memory that he was saying, Grandma, the boys were telling him, Grandma says you're stupid. Grandma says that she hates you. And as a result, he was concerned about your mom alienating the kids or turning the kids against him. And then Wendi, I remember hearing about this motion. Wendi, this was involving your life. You don't remember the motion? She is something else. She said, I remember hearing about this motion. And then Georgia says, and that is a motion that never got to be heard, right? Wendi, that was a part of the motion to enforce the settlement agreement? And then Georgia, which was never heard. And Wendi, which was never heard. Oh my God, the echo. Wow. And then Georgia says, because he was killed. And Wendi says, because, yes. Georgia says, and do you remember why you didn't forward your mom the actual motion that was filed in reference to that? Wendi, I don't. So this is really another I don't remember. Georgia, okay, if you will check tab, see if you can find tab 98 in the back there, please. Wendi, I have tab 98. Okay. Does it refresh your recollection as to the question, which is, where was your mom on the day that the relocation was filed, which, for your reference, was March 26, 2014? And then Wendi's reply. So this email is from March 25th, 2014, and it looks like my parents were coming up. It says coming on Thursday, and this was written Tuesday, the 25th. So my guess is that they were coming on Thursday, the 27th. Then here's the next one. Here, I'm going to check with chat real quick, make sure you guys can still hear me. Yes. Oh, hi, Brooklyn. Thank you for joining us. Yes. Mr. C's right. Yes. Continuum. It was the first apartment. And the icon, yeah, the icon was purchased later. But yeah, Harvey and Donna signed a lease months before Dan Markel's murder at the Continuum, even though they still had the Coral Springs home. Mr. C answered. Said STS did a video on it where the bump was the site. Okay. Was on sidewalk near the apartment. Yeah, Patty's going to be on in 20 minutes. You guys, I'm just going to go for a few more minutes and then we'll end. I've kind of had an emotional day. Like Allison and I were talking about like the horrible news today about like Charlie Kirk, whether, you agree with him or not. Like he was exercising his free speech and having debates with people or conversations with people. And then, violence is not the answer, but something tragically happened today. It's just disgusting. Okay. And then Georgia says, wasn't there practice to completely stop in Orlando and spend the night on the trip up to Tallahassee? Wendi, I don't remember. And then Georgia says, the allegations that are laid out in Dan Markel's motion were sent to you in an email before the motion was ever filed. Do you remember that? And Wendi, I don't remember that, no. And here comes Georgia with the receipts and publishing 64AA, a December 16th, 2013 email. This email indicates that Dan Markel is going to be introducing a major issue, grandparental alienation. This will be a part of our ongoing effort to resolve outstanding issues. But basically, the bottom there, BA announced to me ABBA. What does ABBA mean? Oh, I guess she said ABBA. And Georgia says, what does ABBA mean? And then, Wendi has to correct her. It's Abba. It means father in Hebrew. Georgia, father. Grandma says you're stupid. Okay. And he details a couple. I think it's 3 different instances in which the boys have told him that Grandma, your mother, meaning Donna, has told them that they're trying to take my sunshines away. She hates you, that sort of thing. Does that refresh your memory at all about those allegations? And Wendi, because she knows that there's receipts, answers, it does. And then Georgia says, and this email, did you forward this email to your mother? Do you recall that? And this is the same kind of thing as I don't remember. Wendi answers, I don't recall that, but it makes sense that I would have. Georgia, and your mom responded to it, and someone responded to it. Wow. Do you remember that? Or I'm sorry, she says, and your mom responded to it, or someone responded to it. Wow. Do you remember that? And Georgia's pretty much kind of referring to the fact that Harvey and Donna share an email and that the defense was trying to act like it wasn't always Donna in the emails, but I can't really see Harvey sitting behind a computer and typing up all these emails all the time. And Wendy's answer is, I was shown that email yesterday. Georgia, okay, and you forwarded that email not only to your mom, but to a total of 12 different people. Do you remember that? And I loved in, pretty sure it's Charlie's trial, but it might have happened in earlier trial too, when Georgia reads off the 12 people. Okay, I think that is a good stopping point at this time. Let me see what chat is saying. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the Adelsons just, like, I mean, not only did they murder, conspire to murder, and pay people to murder, they pretty much deleted Dan Markel from the boy's life afterwards also. Oh, okay. And is it also the soft A, like Saba and Saf and Safta, or Saf? Is it Saba and Safta? Well, thank you for that information. But I'm assuming that the boys weren't. Okay, thank you, Brooklyn. And Brooklyn, thanks for joining us. So I am on page 60. Man, I don't know if Allison and I are ever, because we really want to like kind of finish what we started. We were discussing that, we kind of want to finish things before we move on to something else. But this document is 169 pages, and this is our second episode, and we're only on page 60 of I Don't Remembers of Wendi Adelson testifying in Donna's trial. Okay, so I'm going to give a real quick recap because Allison's charge is to get justice for her mother, Nancy Galvani. She was murdered by her father. I'm sorry, Nancy Galvani was murdered by Allison's father, Pat Galvani, on August 8th of 1982. Nancy's body was found floating in the San Francisco Bay the day after, August 9th, 1982. She had been strangled, and she had been wrapped in a sleeping bag that Allison could identify. Allison was 5 years old at the time. And he had tried to, I guess he had, put rope around the sleeping bag and tied it to a cinder block, but Nancy's body floated up the day after he had murdered her. And the reason why Allison's channel is named My Father's Alibi is because he used Allison. They were in the process of getting a divorce. Nancy Galvani had left him with Allison, and Allison was there visiting him, and he used Allison to lure Nancy to his home. However, he had sent Allison to go stay with a paternal uncle also named Pat. So that part kind of got confusing, but he lured Nancy and murdered her, and that was in 1982. He was initially arrested. He was not prosecuted, and the district attorney in San Mateo County, California, is named Steve Wagstaff. His email is on this banner. It's SWAGSTAFFE at smcgov.org, and the SMC is San Mateo County. And we learned earlier that someone's been told that he will be making a decision in the next couple of weeks. And if you just want to, send him a quick email saying justice for Nancy Galvani, Alison would really appreciate it. Yeah, Kristen, don't do that. Don't do that. You'd be like Cooter Brown. And as Jibs and Jabs says, drinkity drink in her videos or their videos. Okay, so I want to thank everybody for joining tonight. Alison and I really appreciate it. I know that she had to leave a little while ago, but I'll let you guys go ahead and rush over to Patty. She's going to be on. Sometimes she goes early. She might say she's going to be on at 11, but she might already be live. I know, drinkity drink. So funny. Might buy me a coffee so I can have drinkity drinks. Oh, John, you are so funny. So yeah, I guess again, thank you for joining, and we'll continue this at some point because Wendi doesn't remember, but the evidence does. Good night, everyone. This is True Crime Wifey, and we'll be seeing you soon. Thank you.